Hi. What's your name? What? You're Chinese?
Okay, so notice the physicality, right? That's something that's missing. Obviously, like a lot of the sets we do for you guys, the day game sets, so they have less physicality in general. But also just when I see you guys in the nightclubs, this is a lot what's missing, right? This physicality. He's already starting to get physical. He's already escalating. But the escalation, it's very natural and it's smooth because it's slow. Okay? If you like gruffly grab the girl and like force her into something, she'll likely react badly. But what he does, he takes the hand slowly, she responds positively, takes the hand slowly, and she's not giving any resistance, so he just keeps it going. If she were to resist, I would assume he would back off, chill out, whatever, that kind of thing. But it's slow, gradual, but it's constant. Right? That's how physical escalation should be.
You're Chinese? Right.
And that's pretty ballsy, right? Putting her hand up around him, getting that physical that quickly, but why? She hasn't given any indication that it won't work. Right? Everything's positive, so why not?
Guess where I am?
Yeah?
Guess. What do you think I am?
American?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when she pulls off, right? And it's not like a bad pull away. It's not like she's like angry or sad or not liking it or whatever. But she pulls away. He doesn't try and hang on to it. He just lets it go. Right? Physicality should breathe. You should never be try hard about it. And also realize once you've done something physical, you can always do it again. Right? Once you've hugged a girl, you can probably always hug her again. Once you've kissed her, you can probably kiss her again. Once you put her arm around you or held hands with her, you can probably do it again. So you don't have to hang on to it and like clutch at it and keep it there. It's more about the communication that the touch represents than it is about the actual touch itself.
Well, yeah. But what heritage?
Huh?
What heritage?
Irish?
Heritage. Like ethnicity.
Good eye contact, good facial expression, nice smirk, etc. Right? So he's doing a lot of like the subtle things really well. What he's done so far, he hasn't been like super clever or anything, but he's been intentful and he's been, cool enough. Hasn't qualified himself, hasn't made any like social errors, and he looks, sort of like happy, player-ish, smirky. He's doing a lot of things right on like a very subtle level.
Maybe here?
No. Where do you think I'm from? How'd you know? How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
I don't know.
Do I look like I eat sushi?
Here's a subtle thing. So in the last, this is very, very subtle and nitpicky because you're doing a very good job overall. First of all, her English doesn't seem that good, so that's going to be problematic, and that does indicate you should be a little more physical overall. However, you've basically tried to do the arm around you thing in one form or another probably 3 or 4 times now. And she was receptive the first time, somewhat receptive the second, but is less receptive now. So what I would do in this case would be chill out on it for a little bit. Like drop it for, a minute or two, have like a more of a normal conversation without it, and then try and escalate again later. And ideally even escalate slightly in a different way. So instead of putting her arm around you, maybe like do like the put your arm behind her back and pull her in kind of thing or something like that. But don't keep trying for something if you're getting resistance. Even though like this resistance is very soft. It's very, very soft resistance, but still it's every time you push into it and get a minor rejection, it does slow down the set. So I would, at this point, back off just temporarily.
Irish?
Heritage. Like ethnicity.
Maybe here?
No. Where do you think I'm from? How'd you know? How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
I don't know.
Do I look like I eat sushi? Do I look like I eat sushi? Do I look like a sushi roll to you?
This is another thing I would do, and this is subtle as well. But because her English isn't so good, try to avoid. Do you know what idiomatic expressions are? Do you know what that means? Like, an idiomatic expression is like when you say "what brings you here." You're not literally saying "what brings you here." You're not saying like "did you come in a car?" You're saying "what is your reason for being in Vegas?" So like, don't say that. Or like, there's one that I said to someone the other day in a Skype call and they didn't get it. I'm like, oh, you should put that on the back burner, right? And they didn't know what that meant because they are not culturally aware of like what's the back burner. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you avoid those sort of like cultural phrases because she's not going to get them. Okay. Instead, with a girl, like when the girl doesn't speak English, simplify your language and be more literal in the way that you talk to her. It's a subtle adjustment, but that way you won't have to repeat yourself over and over again. So it's just a little thing to be aware of as well.
What are you guys celebrating? What are you guys celebrating? What brings you to Vegas? Vacation. You look like you're like from Tokyo. I know. I'm smart. I'm like really, really perceptive. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, perceptive. Like you're like, fuck, that's not the right word. Yeah, you're like, does she know what that means? Exactly. So just keep it simple. Be like, I'm very, very smart. Psh, end it there. Like, don't try and be extra witty. Just communicate, and then you're doing a great job with the physical, a great job with like the nonverbals, the facial expressions. Let that be the source of attraction, and then just with the language, just keep it even literal. Try and keep it emotionally relevant, but literal, and let it be the comfort building part of the set instead of the value building part. Build your value in other ways.
If you know what that means. And you're saying here as well.
That's another one. See, these little things as well, right? As well it's minor because we say this every single sentence, but you're saying here too. Instead of as well, so as well what? Right? It's super, super like all this shit that you're not even thinking about, but it will just make it a little bit easier.
Oh, the win. You're staying here at the win. Are you here at the win?
Better. Better.
Yeah, hotel. Hotaru. Coco. Dan. We go Dan. What's your name? Hi. Are you Japanese too? Are you Japanese too? Okay. You're not? Huh? What are you? That doesn't matter. You're Chinese, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
The one on the left still your target, and this one you're just managing, or are you switching?
I'm switching targets.
Okay, interesting. Because it kind of looks like you are. I was just curious. Okay.
I'm gonna take your friend Dan.
And your reason being hotter, better English? What's the reason for it?
Kind of both of those.
Kind of both. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, it's not finished yet. Let's go. Dan. Okay, whatever. My name is. Yeah, what's your name? I'm Japanese.
Do you think she's understanding you or not understanding you on this?
Probably not understanding.
Okay. I'm just curious. I can't quite tell if she is or not, to be fair, from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just told you. No.
I don't know where. India.
Yeah, India. I'm Indian. We'll go with that.
I don't think so.
I said I'm Japanese. You don't believe me? Alright, whatever. I'm Indian. We'll go with that. I'd like to, you know the snake charmers? I used to be a snake charmer when I was growing up. Yeah. You know how they have the snake and you have the flute? You play the flute? I used to do that. Yeah. So back in India.
With the other girl, I would suggest you kind of do with this girl. I.e., show more intent, keep it simpler. Don't be afraid to try the physicality. Now, whether she'll be as receptive as the other girl, who knows? But like, I'd ping for it. Like, I'd maybe like as you make a point, like touch her arm, be like, oh, you're so cute, and touch the arm, and see how she responds. If she pulls it away, obviously not receptive. If she like seems into it, then you could go further. But I'd be again pinging for that because when someone doesn't speak the language well, you kind of have two options. Well, if they don't speak the language well and you know nothing of their language, you kind of have one option, which is talk to them very logically and then convey the man to woman stuff with your eyes, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, that kind of stuff, right? The other option you do have, and this requires like kind of forethought or whatever, is to learn a few words in the common languages that are emotionally relevant words, right? Like, do you speak Japanese, by the way, or no? A little bit. Okay. So when I went to Japan, my way of learning to game in Japanese was I didn't try and like actually learn Japanese in like a week because that's not happening, right? But what I did is I learned single words that say a lot in a set. So I learned yes, no, boyfriend, girlfriend, love, hate, trouble, those kind of words. And then I can just throw those in for emotional content. So I can have a very logical conversation and try and make them understand me. But then when it's kind of flatlining, I can be like, cute girlfriend. I'd be like, hate girlfriend, right? That kind of stuff. I'd be like, boyfriends, friends, whatever, those kind of things. So those are the words I learned, basically. So if you have, again, like if you run into a random girl who speaks some language you've never heard of, obviously you can't do that. But there are certain languages you're going to run into a lot, right? Like if you're living in Vegas, you're going to run into girls that speak Spanish a decent amount of the time. You'll run into girls that speak Portuguese, like Brazilian girls, a decent amount of the time. If you have the time to learn 10 words in that language, you will do massively, massively, massively better with that girl. For me, Japanese, because I went to Japan. So when I actually have, maybe I'll show it because in honor of this, maybe I'll show it sometime in the next week. I have one where I pick up a Japanese girl and I use my 10 to 20 words of Japanese and end up pulling her and that kind of stuff. But it's very similar in that besides that, it's a lot of very simple language and a lot of physicality.
We're India. I just came back from India.
I'm Indian.
I just came back from India.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why you know I'm Indian? That's how you know? Okay. Do they look like me in India? A little bit. Yeah. Sure, why not? Okay. Where do you think I'm from then?
I can't see. How's the other girl reacting to this? Does she seem okay, or does she seem bored, or?
She's somewhat bored.
Somewhat bored. Okay, fair enough. Could be a concern. I don't really know quite how to deal with it. I don't have a solution for it, although this is a potential solution for it.
He's on another girl though right now.
Is he? Okay, fair enough. So I don't have a solution for it, but it's something I'd be aware of. And if she gets really bored, I'd even switch over, talk to her, and switch back or something, just so you don't lose it.
Yeah, amazing. Thailand. You have no idea. I'm Japanese.
Okay, but she's smiling, she's reactive to, etc. I would try and, like I said, ping the physicality. Do a, oh, you're so cute, and see how she responds to it, or something like that.
Nihonjin desu. Nihonjin. Hi. No, I'm full.
Let me hear something. So we just talked about body language when we were breaking you down. Yeah. Look at this body language, right? And this is a girl that's even, I think she wants to respond, but she's not as capable or as able. But sitting back, leaned against the bar, relaxed, sort of almost cocky, judgmental, but no nervousness, no self-qualifying, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that's all easier said than done. It's yeah, I know don't be nervous, but how do I do it? I know don't qualify, but how do I do it? Just work on it little by little by little, right? But this is a good example of a pretty chill, relaxed kind of vibe and set.
Screening her basically.
Yeah, even just on physical body language. There's actually a video you guys could watch. I put it out, I don't know, I guess a month ago or something like that. It's called the best natural I've ever seen, right? And this was this guy from Amsterdam who basically his whole thing was he just had the looking judgmental right? And the girls were responding to it because he was not reacting to them. They would qualify to him. They would jump through his hoops. They would fall into his frame, that kind of stuff. So that's a pretty good example. And this is, sorry, your body language isn't as good as his, but it's still pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. That guy was sick, by the way. That guy was fucking, watching him was unreal. It's like you're watching some kind of weird magician.
No, full Japanese.
Why you have a
My dad's side, they grew up in Hawaii.
okay.
Yeah. But I'm full Japanese. Yonsei. Yeah.
So they are Japanese, these ones, or they are, okay, just checking. Because I heard both Japanese and Chinese in the conversation that you mentioned, so just checking to make sure. So they are Japanese. So if you speak a little, I don't know how much you speak, but you could actually use their language a little bit for like the high points, for like some of the emotional stuff.
I look different. I'm exotic. Yeah. Venice? Italy. Really? I don't believe you.
Is this girl in the same set? Is this like another friend? Like he's talking to us, another friend?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two. Okay, got it.
Crazy. So you're very well traveled. You're an adventurous person. You're adventurous. You're adventurous. I like that. Cool. I used to travel quite a bit as well.
Have you ever been to Japan?
Yeah, one time.
Where?
I went to Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima. That's pretty much it. I've been to Venice. I've been there 8 times.
Really? Why? Do you like it?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. It's one of my favorite cities. It's like very picturesque, romantic, gorgeous. I went there quite a bit growing up with my parents. We would take trips to Italy and like France and UK. So I thought about moving out there as well. I was going to move to London. I was going to move to London for school, but I'm thinking about just staying here.
Do you like Europe?
I do, definitely.
I've traveled around Europe.
Where's your favorite place?
That's actually a pretty good question. What is your favorite place? What I was gonna comment right before you said that is you need some kind of intent in the set, because it's just kind of starting to become too much of like a just casual conversation. The what's your favorite place is actually in a way a subtle form of intent. So it's there. I might even like want to see more intent than that, but yeah, I definitely need something because it's starting to kind of flatline.
In the world.
My favorite place is really Venice and India. I love it.
If we were together in Venice, where would you take me?
That's intentful. That's good.
I mean, I'm local, so I go everywhere.
You go everywhere.
It's like a labyrinth, but I know the street and everything, so I like it.
And your favorite place is where in Venice? Like, you gotta choose one place.
Santa Caria.
Yeah?
Santa Caria.
Oh yeah.
Great.
I like the south part.
Where?
The south part of Venice, where they have the parks.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Santa Caria.
definitely. It's like very hidden away. It's like semi-private, where
So I didn't catch quite in conversation. So why is Venice? Is it like a place you both traveled to, or is it a place she lived, or what's?
lives there.
She lives there currently.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So yeah, so obviously it's something that she can be an authority on, somewhere she can go. Okay, it makes sense.
not a lot of people go, not a lot of tourists. I'll just show you my favorite place. But would you say you're like open-minded? Like, are you like open-minded? You're like spontaneous? I have my favorite place in Vegas. It's like 2 blocks east of the Cromwell. It's like very secluded. I would totally dig you. You seem like you're very adventurous.
What
But
are you doing in Vegas?
What do I do? I sell knives. I sell knives. I'm a knife salesman. Knife food. Salesman. I sell them. I'm a stripper. Yeah, I used to be.
I don't know what it is.
A stripper. It's like a dancer that takes off all their clothes. What do you do?
I'm artist.
You're a bartender.
I'm artist.
You're an artist. What do you draw?
I'm making glass and painting.
Murano. You're a glass blower.
No, I mean, I don't grow. But I'm making glass with
So you
scrap
take things like that. Oh, like that.
I'm having exhibition right now.
Okay, so I'm assuming all like the cuts is just more get to know you type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're obviously getting to know her, which is good, and within the language barrier you have, I think it's probably about the best way that you're gonna communicate with her. But I would try, even so, just to have a few more like emotional spikes in it. It is very flatline. Like if I was in the set, there'd be part of me thinking like, okay, she likes me clearly, but at the same time I'd be thinking like this just looks like the kind of set that could become a waste of time. So I'd kind of want to screen. She already said she's adventurous, which is good. But I would be wanting to screen. I'd be wanting to like maybe up the ante just ever so slightly to see where I'm at and see what I can get away with. Because it's.
Todd, quick question. But,
Yeah.
You know, whenever we're like opening sets and just trying to find out what girl's DTF,
Mm-hmm.
like you know, like that one's going like flat line, and
Mhm.
now it's like trying to see, you know, is she down?
Well, she likes him clearly. Like, yeah, likes him is handled. Is it going to go somewhere? Is a little tougher to gauge at this point, right?
Yeah.
But how can you gauge if it's going to go somewhere? What are some ways?
Well, it's like we can't kiss or we can't get too close. I feel like we should get to know each other a little bit better.
So you're disqualifying, right? Which is facilitates it going somewhere, and also maybe you can gauge her reaction.
Okay.
Yeah. That's going to be hard in this case, by the way. I've tried that with foreign girls. Doesn't work. It's too clever, right? I did that. Actually, I'll show you the set that I was telling you about where I pulled the Japanese girl. Once I get her outside the club, I do that. I'm like, yeah, we can't kiss, we can't. And she's like, kiss what? She thinks I'm saying we're going to kiss, we're going to.
Yeah.
So she thinks I'm saying the exact opposite because she doesn't get the subtlety of like
Yeah. No.
the disqualifier. So again, you have to be a little more straightforward. But the big way that you can tell if she's open to going somewhere with you is what? Escalate, right? You try something. If she's receptive, she's willing. If she's not receptive, she's not willing or ready yet, right? So that's the big way you tell. And that's the big way you tell in any set is you ping. You try and escalate and see if it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, no doesn't always mean no. Sometimes it means not yet, right? But it's an indication.
You speak Italian. Nice.
I'm Italian. Can you speak Italian? I'm Italian.
You're a real Italian. Tell me.
What's your plan for this girl right now?
I readdress her in a moment, but I just go back and forth,
Uh-huh.
and then I try to move them.
What's your plan for that girl, like, in terms of the night?
Long term.
Long term? Threesome?
Find a wing, ideally.
Okay. Gotcha.
Tell me that you love me in Italian.
What?
Tell me that you love me in Italian.
That's good. I like that. Escalating, seeing where you're at, pinging it, that's good. That's what you need to be doing.
How do you say that?
Tanto amore, mio.
I love you too.
Good, and then you got sort of like somewhat conclusive. Like it looks like she didn't pull away, but she didn't like escalate back, right?
Pretty neutral.
Okay. So, but that's good though. Especially with certain cultures and ethnicities, you don't expect them to escalate back a lot in public. Okay? Like Asian girls in general, if they're receptive to escalation in public, they probably will escalate in private. Or will just continue to be receptive in private and won't say no. So to a certain extent, Russian girls the same way, although in the case of Russian girls, I don't escalate as much. Or like some Eastern Europe, like other kinds of Eastern European where they're trying to be like icy. just because you don't want to over-validate them, and you don't want to let them know they have you quite so much. So with them, you have to ping differently. Usually with that kind of type of girl, I ping more verbally and less physically. But either way, I'm pinging. I'm trying to find out where I'm at one way or another, and trying to see to what level will she let me get away with it before she puts up some kind of resistance or before she gets uncomfortable, right? So here she didn't hug him back or like look him in the eyes and like make out with him or anything crazy like that. But she also didn't like shrug it off, right? So my assessment of that would be good enough. Like her response is good enough that it seems worthwhile to continue.
I love you too.
Voglio bene. Va bene?
See. Are you guys going to?
Not definitely.
Onto. You told you nice. Jean. Am I just like too good looking to be Japanese?
Your parents Japanese.
Parents, yeah. What does that mean?
You're beautiful.
Oh. I'm beautiful. Thank you.
Say that.
I approve.
Did she actually say that, or did you just misinterpret it?
She was telling me to say that to her sister.
Oh, okay. She is a misinterpret.
Yeah.
Good. And this is her sister?
Yeah.
Is she trying to set you up with her sister, or is she?
No, I think she's just trying to include her.
Gotcha.
Say to my sister.
I couldn't understand what you were saying though.
What?
I couldn't quite understand what you were saying. Say it again. Not the lot. It's okay.
You're gonna keep me in suspense on this one. I was expecting like to know the end of this set, and like.
The camera runs out.
Yeah.
Runs out of batteries.
I'm like, there's no way he's pulling this in 2 minutes. I don't see that happening.
It's cookie. Thank you. I know. When do you go back to Japan?
These girls are probably no longer buying drinks, right? Like whatever transaction is done.
Yeah, for the most part.
Have you thought about moving them around somewhere potentially? I mean, I know you have a third girl, and where are you? Where is he? But he's engaged with her, so that's a factor. But I would strongly consider trying to move them around, trying to suggest, because you kind of hinted at like the after party idea a little bit, but they didn't say yes, let's do it. But I don't think they also said no at all either, right? So I might try and bring that up again, or I might try and baby step them somewhere and see what you could do. So here you could do, have you explored the club? This is pool party night, I guess. So you'd be like, have you dipped your feet in the pool? That kind of thing you could do, and see if they'll do that with you. Come up with some reason to move them, see if they'll move with you. Or you could even try and actually explain the after party idea, depending on what time of the night was this roughly.
This is really late, so it's after
Really
I
late.
filmed Alex, so it's like 3:30.
Okay. Yeah, so at this point, you might even be like overtly selling the after party a little bit. There's actually a minor thing too. I know a lot of people in the like pickup community, they use the word after party a lot. I will use it a little bit, but I don't like to say after party, because when you say after party, you're putting a certain image in the girl's mind, right? And that image is she gets there and it's like some crazy event, or there's a bunch of people, or that kind of stuff. And what you'll run into sometimes is you get the girl to wherever, and then it's like too low key, and she's like, oh, I thought this was like an after party. And that's the issue. So I might say once or twice, but if they confirm like, oh, we're going to an after party, I will actually use that as an opportunity to explain what it really is, kind of, in a way that'll be more palatable when they get there. So sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I guess you could call it an after party. It's basically like me and a bunch of my friends. There's a place that we just really love. We drink, hang out. It's just cool people and chill. It's not like we don't have like Tiesto DJing or anything, but it's like it's actually really cool, and I think you'll like it. It's a really nice place. That kind of thing, right? So you kind of bring it down, and you can even the fact that you're unselling it, be like, don't get your like. I would love to tell you that it's gonna be the most amazing thing, because if that would make you come and have a good time, that'd be great. But to be fair, it's just a place that I really like a place that I don't share with a lot of people, that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, that's too complicated for this set. It's too many words. But in general, like the framing of after party, I would much rather have them like, we're gonna go to a good place and hang out together and like drink and have fun, as opposed to expecting some kind of like DJ event or expecting that you're taking to like Dre's after hours or something like that, because that can create problems down the line.
Yeah. Okay. You're a student.
I was an exchange student there in
Engineer. 8 years ago.
18.
18 years ago.
Don't count it. Don't calculate it.
So you drink.
I like it drink.
Yeah.
That's definitely culture, maybe.
What's your favorite drink? You like wine?
Yeah, I like wine. I usually drink wine, but in the club, I just drink like something like tequila.
What is that?
Margarita.
Margarita. Yeah. I mean, I like it more here. I like the freedom. Like people here.
What you should do in this case, actually, is because you're kind of stuck in terms of it might be hard to move because you'd have to move this girl too, which could ruin his set, and you may not, the moving might be too much at this point, etc., and you really need a wing on someone. This is like what Telegram was made for. Like this is the like moment to get on Telegram and be like, hey, who likes Asian girls? I have a cute one by the bar, and just get someone over. That would be actually my ideal solution to this, which outside of immersion might not be an available solution, but like that's exactly what I would do in this case. I'd just be like, hey, have a girl, somebody come.
Kind of just do what they want, and they're very spontaneous. I like that here. LA's pretty chill and laid back though. But my personality is like more.
But right now that it's one-on-one, I think it's really good. I'd turn around and check and make sure the sister's not in eyesight. But then I would use this window as an opportunity to actually try and escalate a bit. Because you don't want to escalate in front of the friends or the family, but this would be a great time to escalate. And if the sister comes back and all of a sudden you guys are like locked arms because you've already like gotten physical, maybe even made out a little bit or something like that, and then it's just you're clearly lovey-dovey, now she can see her sister's into you without having seen you made a move or be creepy at any point. So actually, when the friend leaves, I look at this as like I have a limited window. I may have 3 to 5 minutes to escalate, so I want to make sure something happens during this window.
I want to go and do things, be spontaneous, just go on little random adventures, travel, that sort of thing. So, and it seems like you're kind of the same way.
I'm always traveling.
Always traveling.
I like it. Like this.
Yeah. Let's go sit down.
Let's go sit down is really good though. Isolation is definitely what we want to go for here. Again, I'd still be trying to get someone over on here. Even if I'm isolated away and it's not your problem, it's his problem now, which isn't good. But it's also still your problem on a deep level as long as they can still find each other. So I'd still be thinking try and get someone on her as well. But the go to take her to sit is the right thing to do. So far it looks good. Set obviously like very low key. It's very much like a longer game type of a set. But you're running it in such a way that I can definitely see it potentially going down, right? It has all the elements. It looks like the way you're running it, though, it's going to be like one of those, like, when they all decide to leave, you're going to try and leave with them or lead them at that point. It doesn't look like you have a strong early lead, if that makes sense. It doesn't look like you have a strong way to get her away from the friend as yet. And it doesn't look like, even though you are taking her to sit down, which is good, it doesn't look like you are the clear, firm leader. Or that they've bought into the idea that like you're cool and have plans. So I'd be either trying to sell the after party or what you might do as a preemptive to that. And this is something I do a lot in my game. Is so these girls, they're in Vegas, right? First time, have they been there before? What's the situation? Do you know?
I think it was the first time.
First time in Vegas. Okay, so I would play that up. I'd be like, oh, first time in Vegas. Oh my God, you guys like. There's so much you have to see. Like I like when I moved out here, there were so many things that like I never knew about when I was a tourist, and then since I've actually lived here for a while, I know all these like interesting places. You know what? You guys are cool. We have to take you on an adventure. Which again, too long-winded for these girls as like one monologue. But get that point across gradually. You want to kind of create the vibe of you're the cool guy who knows Vegas. You're their connection to the bigger, better party. You can make their trip more fun if they come hang with you. And then especially if they're friends like your friends on top of it, then it just makes sense, right? And now you're the leader, and now you don't end up getting dragged to their hotel and hoping. You end up taking them to your hotel and having logistics that you can work at or whatever, or to or whatever, and having logistics you can work out and stuff like that. So I would try and escalate to test and escalate, because escalation is buy-in. Like if she has escalated a bit, she's more bought into whatever your plans are. But the other thing I would definitely I'd play up the I know Vegas better than you. I know where the better party is. Because they don't. They're there's no way these girls know where the best party is, just because they don't speak good enough English and it's their first time, etc. Even if they did know where the best party is, they don't know that they know it. All right, so I would play up the I know the event, I know the party, come party with me, I'll take you under my wing, I'll guide you, I'll lead you, and try and put yourself in that role of authority. So that's a big thing I would do here. How did this end up playing out overall?
So instead of sitting down, the sister came with us.
Okay.
We ended up all going to the dance floor.
Okay.
All 5 of us.
Okay.
And the sister ends up getting picked up by some other guy who happens to be dancing as well.
That's lucky.
So yeah.
Very lucky.
Logistically it worked out.
Okay.
But I tried to escalate harder on the girl that I was going for.
Uh-huh.
And she wasn't too receptive at all.
Did you escalate by dancing, or did you escalate in a different way?
It was like semi-dancing.
Okay.
I wasn't really dancing with her. I was kind of like putting her arms around me, all that.
Okay.
And grabbing her hair, biting her neck, that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
But I think it was a little too intense for her.
Yeah. There's kind of 2 ways to go with that. There's a few different factors. So the other 2 are sisters. The third girl, is that a sister or a friend?
I think that's a friend.
Just a friend, okay.
Yeah.
So that's less of a concern, but there still is the concern, which is if you're escalating a lot faster than he's escalating, the girls will look and judge each other. So you want to be careful with your wingman to kind of escalate at a similar pace so that there's no judgment. Also, once the sister's gone, like for real gone, like when she's gone and then coming back, I kind of want to escalate just to cement things, right? But once she's really, really gone, now you know you have all night, right? Or at least in theory you might have all night, you're likely to have all night. So then I would take the escalation much slower, right? Because then you don't need to be pushy. And also, I don't know if you can speak to this because you probably know Asian culture way better than I do in general. But my experience with Asian girls is a lot of the Asian girls I've slept with, they didn't want to get very physical in public, but then as soon as you get them home, the clothes just come off, and it's just like all the sexual repression comes out, basically, if that makes sense.
So Todd's the question was that. So how would you pump their body temperature then without like getting so physical and
Okay.
Public place.
in
Right.
public?
So
Spend time
the
with
first
them?
the first thing I'm gonna say is that I don't think I've ever in my mind thought, how do I pump this girl's body temperature? Like at least not since like 2002. Like 2002, I thought like that was my model of game, is like pump her buying temperature.
Yeah.
I don't think that way anymore.
Okay.
I don't think about pumping buying temperature. I think about getting her invested,
Yeah.
and I think about creating comfort towards physicality.
Oh,
Those are the 2 things I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I could care less about pumping her buying temperature,
Okay.
right? Now, I will keep her from getting bored,
Yeah.
right? I'll do whatever level I need to keep her from getting bored, but I don't think about pumping body temperature. I don't think about getting an indicator of interest or making her giggle or anything like that, because I don't think that's what gets you laid. I think what gets you laid is her deciding you're cool, making a commitment to you, being comfortable with escalating with you, and being like comfortable with going somewhere and think you're not going to kill her, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I'm focused on.
So more comfort game in this.
Yeah, but that said, keep her from getting bored.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking like give her a buying temperature spike, but I am thinking if she seems bored or disengaged, re-engage her, and then maybe I'll be flirty there. Maybe I'll do something to make sure that her attention is still on me. So keep her not keep her entertained even, because that's the wrong frame of, because that means you have to be entertaining. Keep her from getting bored and keep her attention on you.
Okay.
That's what I think, not so much as like the words pump her buying temperature. I never think those
It's so
words.
old school.
Yeah. But it's funny because like words are thoughts, right? If you're thinking those words, you're thinking those thoughts.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
I do like to make that distinction. So I wouldn't be thinking pump her buying temperature, but I would be thinking keep her engaged. So if she's on the dance floor and looks bored, I'd go over and dance with her closer. Or if she's like her eyes are drifting and she's all over the place, I'd be like, hey, right? And like tap her and get her attention back on me. And then I might even flirt with her and be like, oh, you have the cutest look or something like that, right? In order to keep her engaged.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But what you're really going for in my mind is her making a commitment and a logical decision to you, being okay with physicality, and being comfortable enough to go somewhere with you.
Okay.
That's my actual objective. Not getting her giggling, not getting her like touching me, not getting her telling me like, oh, you're so cute. Because I don't think that's actually relevant to getting laid. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, good set overall though. And good example actually of a really, really low key game. I'd like to actually see a set of yours where like the girl speaks better English so I can hear more like of the bantery stuff. But still decent overall. Gotcha. So how did it end up ending? Did she end up like getting like weird about the physicality and leaving, or what happened?
Well, I ended up leaving.
Oh, interesting.
I pulled a different set.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you pulled a different set. That's good.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, if in terms of running the set per se, just by itself, if you got physical and she didn't like it but didn't leave, I might have just like backed off and then just tried to pull her and then get physical in private.
Yeah.
But sounds like we made a screening decision that worked out for you, so that's also good.
Because I was thinking at that point it would have taken much longer.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, logistically speaking.
Sure. Makes sense. Cool. But yeah, that's actually a really good example of a lot of different types of game overall. So pretty good.